Don't film this one. Don't film that one. Who's bent this line? That line must be bent.
Hey guys, Harry here, back with another bricklaying vlog. Today is just a little bit of old footage. This is from Monday. It's just me finishing off one of the peaks. Now, if we fast forward to real time, which obviously I'm recording this on a Wednesday, I'm doing the table lift for this peak at the moment. I've done one table. I was meant to try and get 2 table lifts done in a day, but I had a bit of an upset stomach in the morning. I was out of action for about an hour when we got there, and then the table lifts were a bit tighter than expected, so didn't really get. I got this table lift halfway up, and I got the other table lift done. So yeah, a little bit of a slower day. Struggle loading out, to be honest. These concrete bricks really hard to lift on the table lifts. Like last time I did table lifts, I did a 1 and 2, which made things a bit easier, but probably didn't make as much money as I do now as a 1 and 1. I just want to get into a little bit of today's topic, and we're going to just talk about how to sort of reflect on your year. This is mainly aimed at the younger guys, but it can be something for food for thought for a few of the older bricklayers out there. Every year I like to do this. I like to sit and self-reflect. So it normally just means me sitting bored in the car, because I never normally drive. The missus always drives. If you don't know, the old man used to drive me to work. The missus drives me to work. I have a driving license. I've had my own car, a couple of years ago, but I don't really like driving. It took me 6 times to pass my test. Long story short, I fucking hate it, and I've only got a driving license because I need it for work. I need it for work. If I worked in some fucking office job around the corner from my house, I'd probably never drive again. But yeah, I need, long story short, you need a car to be a bricklayer. You need to be able to move gear. You need to be able to travel to sites, etc. But anyway, bit off topic. But anyway, yeah, this video is going to be like a reflection, and I've done this every year since I became a bricklayer. Even throughout my apprenticeship, take a year to reflect. I normally do it around, you get a clearer picture April of, 2021. That's our end of financial year as in the UK. I don't know if it is all over the world, but it is in the UK. I'm not that smart. But you can assess your earnings over the year. You can have good years and bad years. Luckily, over the last couple of years, my earnings have been about the same. I've put in varying levels of effort. I've been on price the whole time. I'm not a through and through die-hard capitalist, so I'm not. My whole goal of going to work isn't. My whole goal of life isn't to make as much money as possible. I just try and do what's provided. What I need to provide for my family, and as over the last year, I've sort of tried to sort of streamline the way I work, and try and earn a little bit more with a little bit less effort, with work hours and stuff like that. So I sort of assess things every year. And the biggest thing I wanted to do last year was get back on housing, because I've been on footings for about a year, and then I've been on garden walls doing bits of remedial work for 2 years from previous to that. I'd not been on housing since like 2018, 2017, around that time, about 2018, when I last had my apprentice. And I wanted to just have a fresh run. I wanted to move to work for a different subby, because I'd been stuck in the same old routine. I just wanted a fresh perspective. I wanted to work for a few a different house builder as well. I'd worked for a few different ones, but I wanted to work for just a quote unquote boxy house builder, which is Avant, where I'm working now, which they are just very simple houses. I wanted to try out the theory of, is simple better? Would you earn more money? Working on simple houses. And I'll tell you one thing out of my experience, it's a lot less stressful. When you haven't got to hunt around for sills, haven't got to hunt around for different alternate drawing details. Everything is very uniform. Everything's very, very streamlined, and it's hard to get a lot of these houses wrong. Do you know what I mean? There is little technicalities when it comes to details and stuff that you need to be aware of, but very easy. I'd highly recommend this type of house for a new, like a more novice bricklayer, or just out of his time, a year or two. Easy is sometimes better. Work for firms like Persimmon, work for firms like Van, Keepmo, more simpler houses. The less detail, the better. It gets you familiar with the basics and the fundamentals of building houses. You know what I mean? There's not a lot to get wrong. It's just less stress. I always found with housing, it can be stressful. Remembering window clips, remembering ties. That's a main thing when you're an apprentice. That's what goes through your head. Remembering window clips, remembering ties, remembering window heights. Whereas a lot of these simpler builds it's all the same window height, it's all the same sill height. There's no sills a lot of the time. It's just like on these houses, it's just a contrasting banding brick. There's very little high skill detail that you need to really, come against. And if you are a young bricklayer starting a gang with one of your friends from college, or one of your mates who's your labourer, and you're just doing, going from site to site, steady away, doing little bits of, garages here, a few small little plots, it's a good start for anyone who, it's an easy to, there is things you can get wrong with lack of experience, but if you have someone as like a mentor who you can ring up and, you can ask questions, as I've offered to many, any apprentices I've come by who I've got on with, I've said, give us a ring if you need any help, and I'll, guide you in the right direction for the best of my ability. I still make mistakes to this day. I make them regularly, but, it becomes less and less, as you get older and you get more experience is the main thing, And I achieved that this year. Got back on housing. Still, I wanted to have a go as a 1 and 2. It was circumstantial, really, because I was just going to be a 1 and 1, and then the missus started, and then it became 1 and 2. The old man, another thing as well, the old man wanted to get out of it. He told me previously in a previous year he wasn't going to do more than a year, and he didn't even last a year because of his hip. So we managed to get that. Get him out of the game, in a way. He doesn't really need to work at all. He's not financially, dependent on having to work. He has worked all his life, ex-serviceman. It's what I mean. It's been a success really, because I didn't want to go through the whole. I dreaded trying to find a labourer, and even when I did find a labourers multiple times, it was just a pain in the arse and jacking up and stuff like that. It's just stressful. I remember I talked to another bricklayer for another job, and he said he'd had about 30 labourers over a space of a year, and that to me is fucking hardcore. But I'm only at four so far, or 3. I can't remember how many it is, but I'm like 4 so far. I've had up all the people who've come and gone. It's been a bit of success really, getting my dad back out of in the pain he was in. Not seeing him in pain every day has been a success, and got the missus into it, which I've been like, pestering her for like 2 years, ever since she finished after we had his first son. His only son so far, but we want another kid. So after we've had Archer, I pestered her many a time, saying she'd suit it very well. Obviously pays far better than working in like childcare where she came from, which is fucking minimum wage, dead end slave labour in my eyes. Not worth it at all. But yeah, she's got on pretty well so far. I can tell if a gang's working straight away, and going from 1 and 2 to back to 1 and 1. I'm back at a happy pace. I like to work at, and it's ideal for recording. It's nice, you can set your son up for a bit of recording. Suits the YouTube channel a bit better. Easier to get your money in. Obviously, we've encountered these Connie bricks. I don't think I'll be on these for too much longer. Probably throughout the new year a little bit, and then we'll see where everything goes from there. Because Mel still needs a CSCS card. A lot of firms don't require them. It's for labourers. They still want to see mine, but they're not bothered a lot of time for odd carriers. So, it's been easy enough to get onto sites now, because obviously the shortage of tradesmen has made it easier. But we are going to get a CSCS card done in January, and won't have any issues there, because I don't want to go back working solo again. It's just a ball ache. Probably not quite fit enough. Well, I can do it obviously, but it just destroys me. So get a CSCS card, so then we can go anywhere. And as well, a big thing that I had a few guys comment in the early days of me being on YouTube. How do you get on sites as a 1-on-1? A lot of sites only like big gangs, and you'll find if you go on many sites now, there's not a lot of big gangs left. And the big gangs there don't earn that much money. It's just common knowledge. Anyone who knows. But on the inside of the trade, a 1-on-1 is the easiest way to make your money. There's gangs there, out there with young lads as apprentices, paying them, £30-40 a day. And, anyone's going to make money with that cheaper labour. If you've got 2 lads at 40 quid a day, you're paying them, you're getting a 1 and 2 gang for the price of half a labourer, you know what I mean, or 2-3 quarters of a labourer, if you're paying a labourer 100 a day. That's the reflection of this year. I've achieved everything I wanted to do, and I know a lot of young guys sort of, if they're starting a trade like joinery, electrician, whatever, plumber, bricklayer, and they don't end up working on price on a day work rate. I can't fault them really. Day work, if you're getting the right amount, base anything £200 a day or more as a day rate is good. You don't a lot of the time you'll be better off in winter. You'll be more or less all the time better off in winter on a day work rate than you would on price. It takes years and years to build up the speed, the efficiency, and even I'm not there yet. I know I've laid a lot of bricks on a particular day in the past. I've earned a lot of money in a day in the past, but it's all circumstantial. On average, you're better off on day work in winter. A lot of the time, you're just losing too much time, and the weather affects you too much for a novice to work on price in winter. So taking a reduced day rate as a new bricklayer, or whatever trade you're doing, is probably more beneficial for quite a few years. You'll even hear that Collison had only gone on price in the last 6 years or something like that, and he's in his 30s. He's 32 or so, whatever, 33. So he'd done the majority of his 20s on day work. So that just speaks fucking mountains. What, I forgot the fucking quote. Anyway, speaks a lot of fucking words. Anyway, that is it. So that's what I recommend to do. Reflect on the year, and hopefully next year, I'll be doing the same thing I did this year, but better. So I'll just be faster, quicker, more efficient, and and we'll see it all on YouTube. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you like the videos, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification to stay informed. So I'll see you in the next one. Bit too wet today. It's just drizzling. It's like a light drizzle that you can't really lay in this with these bricks, but done. We got that up to matching height. Didn't go as high as the other side, and then we got to rejoint that morning, and then finally we got all this bumped out. It's about 12:30. were last bricklayers on site, but got that all on. Trail nailed on under protection, so that's all bumped out. So we should just get that done tomorrow, and that's it. That's it. I think there'll be table lifting that tomorrow as well. Alright guys, see you next one. So I didn't record today, but you saw some footage from yesterday, and this is what I did today with wet concrete brick. It's 21, as you can see how wet it is, but there's been no bellying, nice and plumb, and that's just the finish that I've got. Now struck finish, then tomorrow I'll come back top and tail, good brush, and that should look good. Alright guys, see you in the next one.